Hello, everyone. Welcome to Limit of Adhesion's Endurance League. My name is Josh, and I will be doing your commentary tonight. And in the booth with me, I've got Phil the Bandit.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. One of my personal favorite tracks. Excited to see some good racing.
Yeah, what great weather we've got. Late October. Wonderful time of the year to go somewhere like Road Atlanta, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. The hills of Appalachia, just a great place to be. Good company, great racing, and lovely weather.
Yeah, great driving roads all around. You can take a nice vacation, bring a fast car, and have some fun. Or you can hit the racetrack and go even faster and have some more fun. Let's see, we've got multi-class here. Here's our info. Road Atlanta. We've got a track temp, 28.9 degrees Celsius. We are in Hall City, Georgia. And as I mentioned, this is round 8 of the LOA Endurance Season 1. Got our track layout there. We're doing the full circuit just like they do for Petit Le Mans.
Road Atlanta is always an exciting race.
Usually is some really good battles. All right, here's our event format. So we've already had qualifying. The grid is already set, and we are looking at a 90-minute endurance race. We'll have some pit stops. Possible strategy could definitely come in on this one, yeah?
Oh, definitely. Fuel saving, it's a great track for fuel saving. It's hard to make passes, so you can tuck in and fuel save. You can make some moves in the pits for sure.
All right, looking at our current standings through round 7, we've got Maren Hugoven leading the way in the GTP field, followed by Tur Malaran and Stephen Maxwell. And looking at GT3s next in the standings, we've got Joshua Martinez on 214, followed by Ben Crook and Jay Pratt. Championship's getting exciting. We're getting towards the end, not quite at the end yet, but we're getting there, and I think guys are starting to think about that championship. Let's see, some news from the steward's room. Time penalties were applied, but no position changes, so no changes to position from the previous round. All right, let's go through the grid. We've got on pole position for the GTPs, Tur Malaran, followed by Maren Hugoven, Stephen Maxwell, Zhao Tomei, and Chris Forrester. And leading the way on GT3 grid, we've got Joshua Martinez with another pole position for this season, followed by Alex Murphy, Oliver Ettridge, and Ben Chalcraft.
Starting in row 3, we got Matt Hansel, Carl Hudson, James Pepper, and a personal favorite of mine, Danny Divebomb Chan.
Danny Divebomb. All right, on row 5, we've got Steve Pepper, Fabio Oliveira, Sam Stott, and Mark Kelly.
And starting row 7, we got Clayton Bueller, Rich Meesters, Peter McIntyre, and David Ward.
I really like that livery on David's Mustang. That was very colorful. It pops. I really enjoy it.
It's right there on the curve too. It does look good.
It's easy to see him standing out, looking at the field like this. Huh? It's just there, just a purple and blue and maybe some green in there. Mustang, huh?
You can't say you didn't see him if you hit him.
Fair. All right, we are on our formation lap. Headed into turn 1. This is a full formation lap at this circuit. It's actually a rather short track for this type of racing. But yeah, we're doing a full formation lap here. Looking at the GT3s, and we've got looking at the GTPs, I'm sorry, and we've got the GT3s in the bottom left of the screen. So we can watch both starts when we go live at the starting line.
It's good to see them put a nice gap in between the GTPs and GT3s. It'd be a pretty sketchy start if they were on top of each other.
Yeah, that is definitely a strategy for the GT3 field, and it's something that we've seen Joshua do in past races this season. He likes to take control of the start, manage the gap to the GTPs, and use the advantage of pole position to control that class and when that class goes, instead of reacting to what's happening in the GTP field or to the green lights.
It's smart, and you never know if there's going to be an early wreck that it's going to collect half the GT3 field if you don't give that gap.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in the middle of a corner when the track goes green or when the race goes green, right? So you can set yourself up, be on a straightaway, and get ready to put the power to the ground without having to turn the steering wheel. You're just taking off straight, drag race to the start. So where are our passing opportunities in this race? Because there's not very many of them at this circuit. We're headed down into one right now, the chicane. Other than that, really maybe turn 1 and possibly turn 6 is really about the only passing opportunities that are surefire bets at this track.
Getting a clean exit out of 7 is going to be your best bet, and getting a run on the back straight.
It's also your best bet for defense as well, is that clean exit out of 7. All right, we should be going green soon here. We've got Tur pacing the field, getting ready to put his foot down, and I believe he is off. We are crossing the line, should be going green. There's our green flag. And looks like Joshua has also started in the GT3 class. He is coming over the hill, and he's going to be starting his lap looking like he's already built a small gap in that field back to Ettridge.
It was an excellent start from him.
Like we were saying on the formation, very important to get that jump. Tur was able to hold on to his lead. I think we lost Marin. We did. Marin had, I was looking down at GT3s, and I do not see Marin on our track, so maybe we'll get a replay of what happened to him, but we have already lost second place in the GTP class.
It looks like he dropped back to 5th.
Yeah, that takes Stephen Maxwell up to 2nd now, followed by Zhao Tome, Chris Forrester, and then, like you said, Marin. Here we go. Bad start from Marin. What happens here? Just runs wide. Just goes out into the grass. Does he spin? Oh, big moment there. He almost lost it.
That was an excellent save. I don't know what happened there. It didn't look like he lost control or was it an issue with cold tires, but possibly cold tires.
Got a replay here. A little collision there, Pepper and Oliveira. Nothing too serious. Just a little bump. Rubbin's racing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're here in the South.
Oh,
racing.
We got a bumper hanging on Oliveira's car, though. Maybe there was a little more damage from that contact than we initially thought. That bumper is definitely hanging off, and he's off track a little bit.
Able to hang on.
Yeah, comes back on clean there. Lost a few positions though. All right, back to the live action. We are looking at Rich Meesters chasing down Clayton Buller, and followed by David Ward. That is a llama and camel battle we've got going there. Clayton with the Formulama team, and Rich Meesters is on the Cool Camel team. That's been a season-long rivalry with those guys. David Ward going side by side with Rich here. Do we have a move? On board with David as he goes around the outside. That was turn 7. And now we're with Carl Hudson. Carl's had an up and down season, huh, Phil? You've watched a few of the races. He's had some great results, and he's had some really bad luck and really unfortunate incidents as well.
Yeah, some of it bad luck. Some of it, could have been avoided, but that's racing. Things happen. I know he's racked up some penalty points, and that's in the back of his mind right now.
Yeah, he's probably having to be a little bit reserved here. We've got a three-way battle. Who is this? Mark Kelly, Clayton Buller, Steve Pepper, and Sam Stott in this battle.
I'm interested to see where the GTPs are going to catch up. There is some definitely some dangerous places. Going through these S's is not a place you want to be passed as a GT3, but not a place you want to be caught up as a GTP either.
Yes, I agree. Oh, we've got a replay here. Rich Meesters goes round. Looks like he tried to make a little move on the inside there. It didn't work out for him, and maybe panic braked some, and a little too much weight on the front end, sent the rear around on him.
No damage though. He's back in. It's a long race. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, plenty of time. 90 minutes on this race. A spin for Oliveira, nosed into the wall. That's going to be some damage on that most likely, but we do have a fast repair in this series. Each car gets one fast repair for the 90-minute race.
I think that's key to good racing. Nothing worse than just some early incident taking you out of a race for 90 minutes, at least out of contention for a good position.
Yeah, then you have to make that decision, right? Do you just pack it up and go home and give your pit crew the night off, or do you drive around by yourself for the maybe hour you have left in the race?
I mean, hey, tires are expensive. I'd pack it up.
Just go have a nice dinner with your pit crew. Hey guys, come on, let's go have some food and we'll watch the race ourselves. We'll watch the excitement unfold.
Yeah, a couple of beers will go a long way to soften that blow.
Yeah, I think the GTP field should catch the GT3 field pretty quickly at this track. Like I was saying on the formation, it's a pretty short lap. I believe they're already, looking at the track map, they're already catching up here. And as I say it, here we go. We've got Tour coming around, making his first moves through the GT3 field around David, around Clayton, headed up through Mark Kelly and headed up towards Sam Stott, I believe, in front of him next. So he'll be catching the GT3 leaders very quickly.
Yes, he made some nice clean passes through there. He had an excellent gap. That was a good lap for him. That might actually give him some more distance. Yeah,
looks like Stephen Maxwell here is going to catch some of these guys going up into turn 3 and then down through the S's. That could be interesting. It could either make him make some desperate moves, or it could make him lose some time. See, like I was saying, a little look on the inside there, but you got to be confident on that.
That's exactly where I said you do not want to be passed as a GT3, but I understand he needs to catch that leader so he can race.
Yeah, sort of a double-edged sword in a way. Here's Marin making moves. Oh, we've got contacts, and that's one of the peppers off. Marin's around. I'd like to get a replay and see what happened on that, but definitely one of the peppers. I don't know if that was Steve or James, but one of the peppers for sure off and probably in the wall. There's James Pepper on track, so that was Steve that we saw go off back at, that was turn 6. Catching up with the leaders of GT3 here, we've got Ettridge, who has not really lost ground to Martinez. I mean, this three-way battle up front is just staying steady, about a half-second gap between them. Here's our replay. Hugavin just looking up at the inside, desperate to regain some of those positions and time that he lost at the start. Makes contact with Steve and sends Steve into the wall and sends himself spinning around.
Ooh.
A little bit of a sketchy rejoin there, huh?
Yeah, definitely some drama on that rejoin. It looks like possibly a little more contact.
Looked like he got away with it, but it was definitely a risky decision to come back on track with cars coming around. You got to check your relatives before you jump back on the racing surface.
I think Oliver Ettridge, if he can stay in draft range, is going to put himself in a good position. The Porsche is very good at fuel saving. All right, we got a spin in the GT3.
Yep, Charles Kitts, nose into the wall. That's going to be some damage. That's a fast repair right there.
Yes, back to the front battle for the GT3s. I think Oliver would do well and will do well fuel saving behind. The Porsche is very good at fuel saving, and I'd be interested to see how this battle plays out as we get through a couple pit stops.
Yeah, second place is not necessarily the worst place to be in a GT3 race, especially in an endurance race. If you can keep the pace of the leader, you can definitely bring strategy into play and take options away from that leader and sort of force that car into doing something that maybe they don't want to do, right? Because you sort of hold the cards of you're in the draft, you're fuel saving, you know, you're not managing the pace, your pace is sort of being managed, and you can just concentrate on driving and nailing your own strategy.
Yeah, I think I would actually prefer to be in second place. I think that's the good place to be at the. I mean, obviously what you said about the start, it's great to control the start, but if someone is sticking with you, I'd almost rather switch positions with them.
Yeah, if you're in the lead, if you can build the gap, then the lead is the best place to be. But if you don't quite have the pace to build the gap, and the guy in second and possibly third is really staying with you, it really puts the leader at a sort of disadvantage come the first and second round of pit stops for sure. Got a replay here. Philip Miles, another spin. Was that also the exit of 5? A lot of cars losing it in the same area of the track. Can't quite.
You know, I hate to see another Phil wreck their car.
Another Phil. Phil and Phil. All right, we got Danny Divebomb Chan following Ben Chalcraft here. Think he's going to live up to his name, and we'll see one of those classic Danny dive bombs, or maybe we won't see that this round.
I think if it gets down towards the end, you're definitely going to see it. I have not known him not to do it.
Chris Forrester, he is last of the GTPs to make his way through the field here. Doing a good job, though, being respectful to the lead battle here. You don't want to interrupt the lead battle as a GTP driver, right? But you also need to mind your own race and your own pace and, you know, who you're battling. But you don't want to be responsible for ruining a good race in the other class. And the same goes the other way, right? GT3 drivers, they don't like getting in the way of GTPs, especially when it's the leaders coming through. But that's part of it, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, if a GTP interrupts that battle, there's no telling what'll happen in future laps. They might need to be let through for their battle, and they might get stuffed up as well. So it's just kind of a mutual respect thing. It's race as hard as you can while trying to maintain some respect with the other drivers on track.
Yeah, definitely some mutual respect. You don't know who's going to hold a grudge, and you don't know who's going to remember that you did them a favor and maybe do you a favor in 10 or 20 laps time. These guys up front are just not separating. Looking at the relatives here, 0.2 second gap between Martinez and Ettridge, and only 0.4 between Alex and Ettridge. So, yeah, very close up front. Really close down the field too here with James, Ben Chalcraft, and Danny Chan. Really close GT3 racing here at Road Atlanta.
I mean, yeah, everyone's doing an excellent job right now. It is a very tough track. It's very, very taxing on the endurance.
Couple of blind corners, like right there. We go through turn 3. You're coming up the hill. You're looking straight up at the sky. You can see the tops of a couple of trees, but you know what you can't see? That's the apex of turn 3.
And that is an easy one to get an off track on.
Correct, and we do have a limitation in this league. We've got 17x limitation, so we cannot be cutting that corner every lap, even though giving a little cut there is the fastest way around the circuit.
Hey, Clean Race can afford you that cut when you need to make a move.
Looking at these guys come through turn 7 the last couple of laps, it's exactly what we were talking about on the formation, on the lead up, is getting that good exit. Martinez has been really good at just getting the power down and making sure he's hitting that apex of 7 and getting the car straight and accelerating down that long straightaway down to turns 10A and 10B. And don't know if Ettridge is just tucked into the draft or if that good exit of 7 is just helping Martinez here keep his position and keep that defense going.
Yeah, it's tough to see. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, even tucked in the draft, I don't know that those exits on turn 7 by Martinez are very clean, and it would be tough to do better. Oliver Ettridge is also very clean through there, keeping this race very tight.
Saw an interesting move there from Tur going through the GT3 field. I think he made a move up the inside on turn 3, but he made it work. So it might be sketchy, but if you get it done, you get it done. I think with that class, it's all about confidence. If you're gonna make the move, you have to commit to the move. You have to be confident that you're gonna make the move. When you hesitate, you make the GT3 hesitate, and that's when incidents happen.
Yes, because you can hesitate in a GTP and save yourself, but once the GT3 hesitates, it's almost surely a disaster for them.
Yes, GT3s do not have as much luxury of moving around on the circuit. It's pretty much once they pick their line, they've picked their line. That's where they're going. So yeah, if you make the GT3 hesitate, it could end badly. But if you make your, see here we've got Stephen Maxwell making his presence known. He looked to the inside very early, saw him come out on the straightaway to make it very clear, hey guys, I'm coming up the inside. I'm letting you know now. I'm not waiting till the last minute. I'm letting you know early. I'm gonna be going up the inside here at turn 1. And it worked. The guys left him space. The GT3 class left him space, and we didn't have an accident. Ettridge really getting close there. 3/10 back. Murphy not falling off either, 4/10. It's been the same for several laps, but man, it just looks like something's about to happen every time. We're getting excited.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something to happen. I mean, it's very, very good racing by all three of them. It looks like Alex Murphy is getting not as clean of an exit out of 7, but that draft looks like it's holding them in. But Martinez and Ettridge are very clean through 7, and this is very good racing to watch.
Yeah, I'm really not seeing any mistakes from any of the top 3 drivers. It's just been very consistent laps, lap after lap. We've got some,
it's going to be
some traffic coming now. We'll see how that interrupts this battle here. That is Stephen Maxwell coming through. See, he opens a gap there between Ettridge and Murphy, but we'll see what happens here with Ettridge and Martinez. Martinez giving him plenty of space and just leaning way back over to get right back onto the racing line there. Just a drastic move because you want to open up that corner for 6 going into 7.
Good pass there. Everyone went through clean. That was quite a sweep inside there. Everybody made it through turn 7 clean.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how fatigue will factor into this race. Everybody is very clean in the top right now, but as we see some fatigue set in, there might be some small mistakes coming through there.
Yeah, we'll see some clean racing in the first stint, but how will the second and third stints go? Will the guys start to get a little hot in their rigs and maybe start to sweat a little bit? Palms get a little bit sweaty. Make a couple mistakes on that steering wheel. You never know. We'll see what happens. We're 22 minutes into this. We've got a little over an hour left, so we got plenty of time to see what these guys do. More GTPs coming through into this top 3 battle. That looked like that was very close to contact there. Ettridge short of getting swamped by 2 GTPs. That is Zhao Tomei and Marin Hugoven battling for the final step on the podium here. Marin coming back from that first lap off track, and he's made up the ground. He's getting back in here. He's back in this race for the podium.
Yeah, that was quite a pass. Like you said, though, he committed. He flashed the lights, let him know he was coming, and he sent it. Everything worked out.
Yeah, he definitely committed. And, oh, that is Zhao Tome, and Marin is in third. So we've had something happen there in the last corner going over the hill underneath the bridge. Am I reading the standings correct there? Yeah, Marin is now in third. So something must have happened to Zhao Tome. I did not see what happened there. We were watching the GT3 battle. Hopefully we'll get a replay. Hopefully we fed the interns and they get us some replays going here. Chris Forrester coming up on Mark Kelly.
Tell me the interns get fed? Because no one fed me.
You didn't even get a sandwich?
No, sir.
We'll have to get you hooked up after the race. We'll call up the winner and we'll go have a victory dinner.
Oh, sounds good.
Small gap now for Martinez. Can he hold it, though? If he can break the toe of Ettridge, he may be able to build that gap to the point where he can manage the pace of the race without having to push too hard. But if Ettridge can close that gap back in, then that puts Ettridge sort of back in the driver's seat, flashing his lights. Wonder why, trying to get into Martinez's head. What's going on with that?
Maybe he's telling him to slow down so he can get back in draft.
Yeah, hey man, you're getting away.
He's holding strong.
Yeah, like we were saying, just clean driving up front. There's no difference in pace between these three drivers at this point. Another great apex there from Martinez on 7, getting the car out to the exit curb and just getting the power down. David Ward was looking really close to Clayton there. Wonder if he's going to make a move here into 6 as we watch Tur get a little bit held up there by Mark Kelly, but nothing major. That's typical traffic there. No big deal. Looks like Ettridge was able to close that gap back up to Martinez. Back down to under half a second, 0.3 at this point.
Yeah, he went back about half a second from what he was. He was at 0.2. Now he's right back to 0.2. This is excellent driving by the top 3 GT3 drivers.
Yeah, exciting to watch. And when it's close like this, you know that the later parts of the race, if these guys stay like this, the later parts of the race are just going to be an intense battle. You know, as if these guys are this close in pace, you could see multiple changes of the lead. You could see all sorts of driver position swaps, because just because one person passes you, you get them right back because you're all driving around the same pace. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the end of this race is going to be very interesting. It's going to come down to, you know, if someone does make a mistake, or it might come down simply to pit strategy.
Yeah, we learned in the last round at Sebring, Alex is pretty good at managing his fuel and running a really good strategy. So don't count Murphy out there in third. He's not out of the lead of this race by any means. He definitely could take the lead at some point and possibly hold it. As Chris Forrester gets in here, very respectful there, not forcing the issue with Ettridge. Chris in 5th knows he doesn't want to interrupt this battle and just holds position. We've got a spin here from Pete McIntyre, possibly. Let's see what the replay shows us. Yep, just the rear of the car getting loose there, going through down the S's, down the hill, headed towards turn 5, and lost it before he even got there.
That is a common spot for that to happen, especially in the Porsche. The Porsche likes to get loose through there.
Yeah, a lot of change in direction, and you get that weight swinging around a little bit, and if you turn a little bit too quickly or a little bit too sharply, you can get the weight moving too fast. Momentum takes over, inertia, and physics happens, and you go around.
Ooh, incident with James Pepper and
Maxwell. Maxwell's a GTP driver, so
like he got into the side of Pepper and pushed him off the track.
Off track there, yeah. So that is James Pepper. Steve Pepper we saw go off earlier in the race. Here's a better look at this replay. Going down the hill. A little bit of net code there. Not really sure what either driver could have done about that. Looked like a bit of net code, which is something you have to be aware of in iRacing. You know, you gotta assume that you need to leave an extra, 6 inches or 1 foot of space than what you think you might need to.
Yeah, and especially with an international field like this, you get people from all around the world racing together, and it adds a little bit of latency in there, and netcode is bound to happen.
I just saw a car in the background go into the wall there. It looked like James Pepper again. As we see David Ward putting pressure on Mark Kelly. Spin from Pepper. I wonder if he's got lingering damage from the incident we just saw with Maxwell. And yep, loose at turn 5. The most common place at this track. You get loose on that outside exit curb and you go around.
I've definitely wrecked there more than I'd like to admit. Yeah, it looks like he just caught that curb at the wrong angle, and it just...
Yeah, I find that my best strategy through there is to really just try and keep the steering wheel straight. If you're given any sort of input on the wheel, the car likes to, it can bite. The wheels, the tires will bite and grip up for just a split second and send you one direction or the other. If you sort of just hold the wheel straight and let the car balance itself out as it's going over that curb, I have the most luck, keeping it headed the right direction.
Absolutely. And, always depends on the car you're driving. Some cars can eat that curb, and others can't touch it at all.
Yes, some cars are much better on the curbs than others. Something to consider when you're doing your setups, and something to consider when you're racing. We are on board with Ben, following Danny Chan, and Sam Stott is behind Ben Chalcraft. And now we're with Mark Kelly and Clayton Buller. We've got some packs forming here, right? Little packs of 3. We got the pack with Ben. We got the pack with Clayton, and we've got the lead pack, obviously. Mayer and Hugavin coming up on our leaders as they exit 5. If Danny stays in front of Ben Chalcraft, then I don't think we're going to be seeing any of those dive bombs because he doesn't have anybody to do it.
Yeah, no, he's falling behind 2 teammates. Hey, but you never know. He could dive bomb teammate.
Ooh, do we have a move here? Clayton Buller on Mark Kelly. He's definitely got a little bit alongside. Not quite close enough. It looks like he lifted a little bit and gave Mark the room he needed to make that corner. Yeah, Danny fallen off, as you mentioned, his teammates, Carl Hudson and Matthew Hansel, which we have not seen much of in this race. They're sort of, in like an in-between pace between the top 3 leaders and then this group of 3 that we're following here. We're not really getting much of Matt or Carl on the broadcast. which can sometimes be good, right? You can just kind of have a clean race to a top 5 finish and not get bothered by anybody and go home happy, right?
Absolutely. If they could manage the GTP traffic, they can work together and possibly catch that top 3. Or at least lock out the people behind. They're in a great position to control the track right now and give Joshua Martinez an opportunity to battle up front without any more competition joining.
Yeah, these drivers we're talking about, part of the AITT Revolution e-racing team. That team has grown since the start of the season. It was only 2 drivers, maybe 3. I think Danny was at the first round, so 3 drivers at the start of the season. Now they have nearly a full stable. They've got 5 in this race, and I believe a 6th teammate on the way.
And you know, seeing the clean racing here, you know, maybe next season people will see me in there.
You heard it here first, folks. Bill joining the Limit of Adhesion League for next season.
Yeah, so you people at the back of the GT3 grid,
y'all watch
beware.
out.
I'll be battling you.
Y'all watch out back there. All right, we are seeing our first round of pit stops here. We've got 1 GTP, a few GT3s in here. So we are 34 minutes into this race, so that is right on time. That is right on time with the pit stops. There's our leader, Martinez, in the pits, and Ettridge and Murphy have stayed out an extra lap. So there's that strategy that you were talking about coming into play. Murphy and Ettridge being able to save a little bit of fuel, not having to manage that lead pace. And so they're able to do a little lift and coast and save a little fuel, and they've gone at least 1 extra lap, maybe 2 we haven't seen yet.
Be interesting to see if they push the pace now with this extra lap of fuel and try to get ahead, or if they continue fuel saving and make a play for the next stint.
Chao Tome touching the wall on the pit entry. That pit entry is very sketchy. You come in really moving and you're headed straight at that wall. So that's a very easy mistake to make there. Just grazing it. I don't think it did too much damage to his car. Looks like he just sideswiped that wall.
He's just trying to give his sponsors the value for their money, you know, leaving a little bit of their logo on the wall.
That's a good tactic to get paid more for next season. Leave your sponsor logos on every wall. Briefly, we saw Hugavin in the lead after falling down to last in class, and he led for a little bit, but we will see where his position actually is when he returns. And Martinez is off. Martinez is off, and Ettridge comes out the pits still behind. I wonder what happened there. Turn 1 and then coming up the hill, Martinez goes off, but he rejoins right in front of Ettridge, and we're back where we were before the pit stops. The 0.2 second gap here between our top 2 leaders. Murphy must have stayed out another lap, and we've got to move. Ettridge taking a look inside, compromising the exit here at 7. But Martinez in that Audi, look at that, putting the power down and able to keep his car in front. But Ettridge is going to have a run down into the chicane of 10.
Yeah, like we said, getting that clean exit out of there is important, and it is tough to do from the inside.
Martinez looks like he sort of lifted and just ceded that position. Didn't battle it too hard into 10. We had some side-by-side racing through 6 and 7, but that move into 10, very controlled by Ettridge there, just went to the racing line, took his position. As we see Chalcraft go around making contact with the right rear of Sam's car, Sam Stott. Little burnout, little spin out, touch of the tire barrier. Not too much damage, I don't think. Ben should be good to keep going. and Murphy comes out of the pits ahead. Murphy is ahead. He did stay out the extra lap, but Oliver said not for long. Throwing up the inside, just like we saw him do on Martinez the lap before, going up the inside of 6, and he's made it stick this time with Murphy there. He's made it stick going into 7, and he's got the move done before we get to 10. Murphy and Martinez nearly side by side. Let's see. Martinez again sort of just getting on the racing line and tucking in behind. Let's see what happens here with David Ward. Looks like we got a possible spin through the S's. That was that Challcraft going around as well? Maybe that was the replay we saw earlier.
I believe it was.
Ward, yep, exit of 5.
Same spot.
Yep, that's like what, number 7 this race at that corner exit. It's just it's the most common spot at this track in every series, in every car. It's definitely the corner that bites the hardest.
We got the leaders passing Ward after the accident.
Yeah, Ollie now taking control of this race. Let's see what he does with that lead position. Let's see if he can build the gap that Martinez was not able to build. And let's see if maybe Martinez can now flip the script on these guys, right? They followed him and they were able to save fuel. We saw Ettridge go 1 extra lap and Alex Murphy go 2 extra laps on the first round of pit stops. Maybe Martinez saw that and said, well, you know, maybe I don't want to be in the lead. Maybe I do want to be in 2nd or 3rd. I need to save some fuel to get to the end of this race. You know, maybe he's possibly looking at a splash and dash that he does not want to do. I promise you, he does not want to do it. And maybe that's got into his strategy now, and he was okay giving up those positions.
I think you're right. Oh wait, we got Danny Chan here.
Again, the exit of 5. Nosing into the wall. Ooh, a little sketchy re-entry, but nothing too crazy. But again, the exit of 5.
I think some of that fatigue might be getting to these guys now. They're just not as tight through there as they were in the beginning of the race. It was very clean through the beginning.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The more times you go around this circuit, it's a very demanding circuit. There's really only one place for resting. The rest of the circuit is nonstop, and yeah, you can definitely get tired. And you make that little mistake at turn 5, and it's over. As we've got our GTP battle here. That is Marin. Oh no, Marin is lapping Chris Forrester at this point.
Chris Forrester is not having the race he set out to have here, but he's driving very respectful. I've noticed he's giving the GT3s a lot of room, and it looks like he's just going around trying to salvage what he can out of this race.
Yeah, I think he's probably got the mindset of to finish first. First you have to finish, right? So we got a car going off there. Not sure who that was. Philip Miles maybe, or Ben Challcraft. Yeah, Chris Forrester probably just saying, hey, look, I just need to get to the end of this thing. And if I can outlast some of these other guys like Zhao Tome, who has retired from this race, right? So Chris has already got 1 extra position in the bag just by getting to the end. If we have another retirement, 1 more retirement, and Chris is on the podium.
Absolutely, and collect what points you can, because there's still a championship going on. It's not just about this race.
Yep, we're at round 8, so we've got this round and 2 more to go, so it is not over. You know, Chris can be working to move up 1 or 2 positions in those standings. We'll see at the end of the race where he's at in the standings and maybe what positions he's looking at. As we see Marin Hugavin making his way through our leaders. Ettridge getting out to 1.3 seconds. So Ettridge able to create a small, not a big gap, but a small gap that Martinez was not able to do when Martinez was leading this race.
Yeah, he's really picked up the pace. He's driving very well. It's going to be interesting to see if Alex can close that gap on him. He saved an extra lap. Who knows how this is going to play out in the pits as well. And I think it's important for Martinez to. You're right. I think you're right. He needs to fuel save here, tuck in behind, and see if he can make up some of the ground he lost.
Yeah, he needs to save some fuel, and he needs to stay with Murphy. And if Murphy can catch up to Ettridge, Murphy will just drag Martinez with him. And then we'll be back into that three-way battle that we saw in the first stint of this race.
Looks like they are currently just right at the edge of that draft, so they're holding on.
Yeah, they'll start losing that draft right about 1.1, 1.2 seconds, which is, as you said, they're right on that line there. Murphy needs to just pick up that pace just a little bit.
Or pray to the GTP gods that he gets a little break, and maybe they slow Oliver Ettridge down for him.
Yep, speaking of GTPs, we were just on board there a little bit with Tur Malaran, our leader. He has he's not had too exciting of a race. He's been in the lead from the start. Maxwell gave him some pressure for a while, but has since backed off a little bit or had some sort of issue that maybe we just didn't see on the broadcast. But there was some pressure for a little bit, but now not so much. Tur enjoying roughly an 18-second lead out front in the GTPs. Yeah, this gap has not changed. 1.2 seconds. So yeah, that gap built there by Ettridge, maybe a little help from GTPs, and now it's stabilized. That just shows that these guys are running the same lap times. You know, they're just clicking them off.
Absolutely fantastic driving by the top three GT3 drivers, and Tur in the GTP. Been very clean, very consistent, just staying out in front.
Hugevin probably looking to catch up to Maxwell here. He's made great recovery progress since his first lap incident, and he's probably going to want to continue that pace, and we'll catch up with him later in the race and see how that has gone. I just saw the timer tick down 1 second, so he's definitely making room or making up the ground on Stephen Maxwell.
Yeah, we saw those earlier moves where he was taking the inside on the GT3 drivers. He is a man on a mission.
Yes. Yeah, he's been
interesting
very
to see if he catches up.
Yeah, he's been very aggressive with the overtakes, but other than the issue with Steve Pepper, he's been able to make the move stick and make that ground up, as you said. Here we are with Stephen Maxwell now, making his way around Mark Kelly. He's got Clayton Buller next, and then Danny Chan. This multi-class traffic, as a GT3 driver, you can definitely use it to your advantage if you know how to manage the traffic, right? As a GT3 driver, you can place your car in a position on track as a GTP approaches you, and you can basically make it known, hey, I'm taking this part of the track. You're going to have to find your other way around. As we see Sam and Danny going at it, here's a good battle. Sam going up the inside, got the GTP coming through as well. Danny hanging around the outside. Ooh, I bet Danny was holding on that one.
This is the battle we were talking about earlier. Danny was not able to live up to his namesake, but now he's had that incident. He's dropped back. And we might see some action out of this in a little bit.
Now he's got that opportunity. He was in front of Stott for the majority of that first stint, and now Stott has been able to make that move on him through Danny's incident at turn 5. But Danny's right there, and we'll see if Danny throws that dive bomb. Come on, Danny, do it. We're rooting for you. You think Martinez will throw a dive bomb on Murphy?
I think if we're on this, if everything is the same coming towards the end of the race, I think he will. Otherwise, I think he's going to play it smart, tuck in, and try to manage that fuel.
Yeah, looking at previous rounds, I don't think dive bombs are really Martinez's style.
No, I think he's going to try to run a clean, consistent race and manage whatever strategy he's currently working on. Still got Matthew Hansel and Carl Hudson in 4 and 5 for the GT3s.
Yeah, let's take a second to go through the standings. We are just beyond halfway through this race, so probably a good opportunity to just run through the list here. So looking at GTPs, we've got Tur still in the lead, followed by Stephen Maxwell, Marin Hugoven in third, and Chris Forrester, who is in fourth, with Zhao Tome having retired from this race. And looking at GT3 class, we've got Oliver Ettridge in the lead, followed by Alex Murphy and Joshua Martinez rounding out the podium. And as you mentioned, Matthew Hansel and Carl Hudson finishing up the top 5. It looks like Hansel and Hudson are not that far apart on track. Just looking at the standings there, 19 seconds back and 20 seconds back. So, they are teammates. Maybe they're just play and follow the leader. Hey, man, follow me and save some fuel, and let's get to the end of this race.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, Carl Hudson has had some incidents, and I'm pretty sure he's looking to have a clean race. I think he's happy with that strategy.
Yeah, I talked to Carl before the race, and he loves this track. It is one of his favorites. He actually has attended many Petit Le Mans at this track, in real life. Him and some friends would go down a few years in a row and watch the race. Petit Le Mans, for anybody not familiar, is a 10-hour multi-class endurance race that runs into the night here at Road Atlanta, part of the IMSA series. And very similar to what we're seeing here, GT3s and GTPs on track all together, running just like we're watching today. I've actually been to this track myself. Have you ever been there, Phil? Have you ever been to Road Atlanta?
I have not. I am a West Coast guy, originally from California, so most of the tracks I've been to are on the West Coast.
Gotcha. I stopped at Road Atlanta briefly one weekend on a return trip home from vacation, and coming to the final corner. Once we get there here on the broadcast, I'll point it out. But coming to the final corner in sim, and even watching back on broadcast, that hill does not look very steep. But I assure you, it looks like a mountain. It is a massively steep hill. You come over the crest under the bridge, and you just bomb downhill, carry a bunch of speed through that final corner out into the straight. You don't really get to appreciate the steepness unless you go and see it firsthand. I've run hundreds of laps here in sim and didn't realize how steep that hill was until I saw it myself.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised how a lot of these tracks compare in real life. My hometown track would be Laguna Seca, and the corkscrew is a much bigger drop than you think it is, but that is actually not the scariest part on track. I have driven at Laguna Seca, and turn 1 is actually the scariest.
Yeah, a track I've never been to, but hopefully can make it there one day if they don't get sued out of existence. I've heard they've had some legal troubles there.
They have. I think they're winning that battle, and it appears that everything is going to work out for them. This is great news. It's a great track. I have a lot of fond memories there.
Yeah, we do not need to lose. We do not need to lose any tracks in the States. I know a lot have been under some turmoil as Danny makes a little mistake there, hunting down Stott and just little maybe turned in a little too early for 3, it looked like, and got a little loose.
I think he's pushing. I think he wants to make that dive bomb happen.
Yep, he wants to rectify the mistake he made and give us all a show. He's got Clayton Bullard. Danny and Clayton have had some battles this season, but very respectful racing between the two of them. I don't think there's any sort of hard feelings. I think they're good friends, and they enjoy racing each other on track.
Absolutely. The entire field, very respectful. It's good to see. Everyone is racing very clean. There's been minimal incidents between people. You know, a lot of spins, turn 5 incidents, but everybody's been driving very well, and it's been a good race to watch.
Yeah, there's Chris Forrester going around one of our mystery men, Matt Hansel. We haven't seen him much on the broadcast, but there he is, Matt Hansel in the McLaren, getting passed by the GTPs and just managing his race and managing his traffic.
Yes, with the McLaren being a new car this season, it's interesting to see everyone driving it. And I know it's been tough for a lot of drivers because there's not setups out, and people are having to make their own setups and figure stuff out for these races.
Yeah, for sure, which can be rewarding. You know, you go out there and you work on something, you spend a week perfecting your setup, or at least attempting to. And if it pays off at the end of the race, like it has for Hansel and Hudson so far, both drivers in the McLaren, both drivers having to work on their own setups, and it's paying off for them. So extra rewarding to work on your own car and work on your own setup, and then have it perform well for you.
Yeah, it's a very underrated skill. Being able to work on your own setup has a lot of advantages. I mean, the setup shops are great. People are getting tons of great setups, but just being that few extra % out of your setup by knowing what you like is a big plus.
Danny Chan was getting me excited there. I thought he was going for a dive bomb there on stop, but then he backed out of it at the last second. And then Sam ends up going into the pits.
He did.
I think that's a little bit early. These cars were running right at the 30 minutes on the last stint. Sam might be in a tad early. We'll have to see how it plays out at the end of the race if he has to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, I don't know what his fuel strategy has been, or if he was able to save a lot behind Danny.
Oh, very close there with Marin Hugoman, I'm sorry. Very close there with him and Danny, but made it work. Take a look at our GT3 leaders. Ettridge definitely has increased that gap. Murphy sort of presenting a bottleneck here with Martinez. Not letting Martinez get back up there with Ettridge, but also not being able to close Ettridge down himself. So now we've sort of split up our lead field, as there we see Ettridge coming through, flashing his lights at Charles Kitts, who is a lap down. Oh, Ettridge throwing it up the inside at 7 and tagging Charles Kitts there. I think Ettridge may be feeling a little bit of urgency, saying, hey, I need to get around. You're a lapped car. Move out the way, bud.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that gap built up. He's worked hard for that gap. You do not want that gap to close. Like you said, if you can get out ahead and put some time between, it's not going to matter what Alex Murphy and Joshua Martinez are doing fuel strategy wise. If he can keep enough of a gap, that will keep him in the lead. So I think he's worried about that gap closing.
Yeah, every 10th lost is a 10th gain to the guys behind, right? And then they're the ones that are working on strategy here. Here Malaren running a great strategy out front, increased his lead. He's got now 29 seconds over Stephen Maxwell. And Marin, as we talked about earlier, closing that gap to Maxwell. Marin Hugovan now looks around 2 seconds behind Stephen Maxwell, so we could have a battle on for the second step of our podium in GTP class. As Rich Meesters gives a little flash of the lights to Peter McIntyre there to let him know. And Peter flashing him back saying, "You're welcome. Have fun, boys. Battle it out."
Yeah, we got Sam Stott and Rich Meesters close now. Hopefully we get a nice battle here.
Yeah, I think Stott wanting that top 10. You know, we get points down to 15th position in this series, but, you know, it's always nice to be able to say you finished top 10, right? Better than saying you finished top 11. Oh, and we've got Malloran into the side of Rich Meesters.
And we got, looks like Stott's going to get that position after all.
Yeah, Stott's got it after a little drama with the GTPs. I think our stewards will be taking a look at that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd like to see a replay of that in a better angle, but that definitely looked like a bit of a problem.
Yeah, definitely something that's going to get reported up to race control, and we'll find out after the race what happens with that. Here's our replay we asked for. I guess we did feed the interns. Meesters coming through one, headed up towards turn 3, and we've mentioned this before in the broadcast. Sending up the inside of turn 3 is just such a gamble. Such a gamble, and it did not pay off for Malloran or Meesters there.
Yeah, I think Meesters made his intentions known. He was taking that line, and I think that was a bit of a dive.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but you and I are not the stewards. We don't get to make these decisions. We just get to call it as we see it.
Yeah, just to give you our point of view. Hey, the stewards know what they're doing, and they'll hand down the right judgment.
All right, our top 3 has cleared some of that lapped GT3 traffic there. We've got a replay here with Murphy, Kitts, and Martinez. So Kitts a lap down, Murphy coming through at 7, Martinez coming through towards the exit 7. A little touch there, it looked like, on the back of Charles's car. It looked like Kitts got a little sideways, Martinez getting on throttle. Let's see. Yeah, Martinez sort of getting that rotation and trying to get on the power early, and when Kitts ran slightly wide there, Martinez accelerated into him. I don't think any sort of major damage there. I don't believe that will affect our race.
Yeah, and Charles Kitts there might have been slowed down by the move of Alex Murphy. It's hard to tell from that angle, but all in all, not a big deal, and everything looks to be continuing as it should.
Here we are, as we were saying, Hugavin challenging for second place, Stephen Maxwell. Maxwell, a little urgency getting around this GT3 traffic. Peter McIntyre's car not looking too hot at this stage of the race.
No, he's still got some damage there, but hey, yeah, he's out there, he's driving. I don't think he had another incident, so maybe he's saving his fast repair.
Yep, saving it for the end. Take it at the last pit stop and then have a clean car for the rest of the race. Maybe that's his strategy. This race is going to get exciting here with the GTPs. Maxwell and Hugavin, they've battled previously in previous rounds, and they're going to battle again today. Having to work this traffic, Rich Meesters.
Hugavin's pushed his way through that field. He has fought hard to get this battle, and I don't think he's going to make it easy on Maxwell.
No, I think he smells blood. Yeah, Hugavin not taking any sort of, not hesitating with the traffic, right? Just picking his spots, making his moves. He's been doing it all race, and so far it's paid off for him, and he's back up into third and challenging for second.
I don't hate it. I appreciate some good aggressive GTP driving.
Absolutely. Clayton and Danny still driving together on track. You know, speaking of fuel saving, Danny also likes to fuel save. I've spoken with him off track, and he tells me sometimes his fuel save laps are faster than his full pace laps, and he doesn't know why.
Well, I know why, but we're not here to talk about that. Danny definitely has picked up doing his fuel save strategy. I've spoken to him off track as well. Obviously, being a teammate of his, um, he's doing excellent. Good, consistent laps. He's been fuel saving the last few rounds very well, and just making moves. Kind of opposite of what he's normally known for with the dive bombs. He's making a lot of his positions up fuel saving, good pit strategy.
Oh, Hugevin around. Hugevin another mistake and spins out at turn 1. That's going to give Maxwell probably some much wanted breathing room there. Maxwell able to maybe just take maybe a half a lap to catch his breath. Clayton Buller gets a little sideways, nearly wipes out Danny Chan there. Definitely gained that position illegally. We might have to report that one to the stewards as well, as Danny loses another position to Mark Kelly and gets it right back. He says, no, sir. I'll take the inside of 7, and you can have my draft.
I definitely think Danny Chan's going to be pushing for that spot back. I don't think he's happy about that.
Yeah, he's probably on the radio to his team right now. Hey, get in touch with race control. Tell them illegal overtake. Give me the position back. At least he would be if this was Formula 1.
Yeah, they'd all be crying if this was Formula 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are facts.
But I don't think anyone's crying here. I think that's gonna give him some motivation. He's gonna battle hard. The stewards will take care of whatever they need to take care of there. But I think he's gonna try to get this back on his own.
Yeah, a little defense there into 1 with Mark. Mark wanting to take advantage of that mistake that Clayton made that slowed Danny down, and now Mark's wanting to get in there. Danny able to hold on to it though. Down through the S's into turn 5. Any mistakes here at turn 5? Commentators curse. No, we are clean through 5.
It's actually interesting. There has not been a lot of incidents at 5 after we had that run. There was a short period there where there was a lot after the first pit stop, but everybody seemed to clean it up, and they're getting through there all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely been some clean running here for the last several minutes. We are 2/3 through this race now, a bit over 2/3 through the race. So we're getting into the closing stages. Maybe start seeing some people get a little antsy, get a little desperate, wanting to make a move. We should be getting our pit stops here probably any lap now, our final pit stops, and then it'll just be a sprint to the finish, to the line.
Yeah, and 2/3 through, top 5 for GT3s still the same. Everybody's been running clean and consistent. There's been quite a bit of changes in the back half of GT3s. GTPs same top 3. Chris Forster bringing up 4th place. Aaron Hugevin having some more troubles. Steven, I'm sure his shoulders have relaxed a little bit.
He shouldn't relax them too much, though. Hugevin lost some time, but not too much. He's still in it. There's still, 23 minutes left in this race, and with the pace that Hugevin's had, I wouldn't count him out. I wouldn't count him out that he's not going to catch Maxwell again, unless Maxwell gets in there for that last pit stop, gets the fuel that he needs, and he knows he can make it to the end, and maybe he's able to pick up that pace and he can abandon his fuel save strategy. Other than that, I believe Hugevin's going to be in for a shot at 2nd place, as I believe Maxwell has pitted. We see a change in the leaderboard. We'll see what happened there.
Yeah, Hugevin has had some excellent pace, but Maxwell has been very consistent. Hasn't had any incidents. Nothing that came across for us anyway. He's been driving well, and Maybe he's hoping Hugavin will take himself out. So he's had quite a few incidents. Every time he gets close, he seems to have something go wrong. But I think you're right. I think he will be catching up and putting some pressure on him before the end of this race.
Yeah, as we see two teammates here. Charles Kitts a lap down, but letting Danny Chan through to continue his race. Danny in, what position is Danny in? 4th right now, but I think we're in the pit stop cycle.
I believe Charles Kitts had some troubles before this race. I think he had a little bit of time confusion, wasn't able to get his setup right, and he might have even missed qualifying.
That's right. He was at the back of the field for the grid start. I'm thinking Hoogerman may have gotten around Maxwell, and we didn't see it. They are only a second or so apart on track, and Hoogerman is in front of Maxwell now. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe we can try and catch those guys in the Discord after the race, ask them what happened. I believe we've seen pit stops now for the top 3. We're showing Murphy in the lead at the moment, but that could be because he has extended his second stint just as he did his first. He had 2 extra laps in the first stint, maybe another 2 extra laps in the second. As Peter McIntyre going for, I believe, another spin there. Yep, Peter McIntyre around and nosed into the tire wall.
Was that turn 5 again? Yes, it was. Here we got Danny Chan up in the 4th place. That's his lift and coast strategy. Getting to run out a few positions ahead. We'll see how everyone comes out of the pits. Maybe he gained a spot or 2.
Yeah, Danny definitely extended his stint there, running a few extra laps compared to those that he was battling with, Clayton Buller among them. Tur still out in front, still in the lead of this race. 33-second, very healthy gap there for the GTP class. Marin in 2nd, Stephen Maxwell now in 3rd, and there they are on track together. So definitely a position gain there for Marin, working his way back up to 2nd after falling to 5th at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, he's battled hard. He's given us a lot of entertainment. It's been a fun race to watch on his end.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be kicking himself a little bit for the mistake, but he'll probably take a little solace in, running a good recovery race. And, if you can't win, recovering to 2nd is literally the next best thing that you can do.
Looks like we got a nice battle shaping up here between Ben Shawcraft, Sam Stott, and Rich Meesters. That's P9, 10, and 11.
Marin making his way through more traffic, caught up to our 2nd and 3rd place in GT3. So Murphy off the track there, cutting that corner a little bit. Not sure if that's a slowdown there at that corner. I can't recall how iRacing judges that one. Murphy might have gotten away with that. But no change in our 2nd round of pit stops for our lead 3 in the GT3 class. Still Ettridge, followed by Murphy and Martinez. Martinez probably working on that fuel save strategy, but it maybe didn't pay off, so now he's got to do it the hard way. He's got to get it done on track if he wants 2nd place or to attempt to catch back up to Ettridge by the end of this race.
Yeah, he's gonna have to push hard and battle for those positions. I think it's gonna be tough for him to catch Ettridge. He's been driving very clean. Oh, we got someone off there. That Ben Shawcraft?
I couldn't make out who that was. Maybe we'll get a replay. Yeah, Ben Chalcraft there, running a little slow. That is Rich Meesters around, and Sam Stott looking to take advantage with Ettridge coming through to lap, giving a flash of the lights. Well done. Let the boys know, hey, coming through. Position the car on the inside early, leaving space on the outside. That was very well done there from Ettridge. Just very respectful racing.
It was great racing all around. Everyone gave space. Everyone got through that clean. Got Ettridge flashing Meesters, looking for the final pass from this pack.
Yep.
And he gives him the space and lets him.
Yep, Meesters letting him through without losing too much time himself, which is important. Yeah, very, very well done there, managing same class traffic. Ettridge enjoying a 5.7 second lead out in front. So once he got the lead of this race from Martinez just after the first pit stop, he's been able to grow that gap. He's really been able to control the race, run his pace. It looks like he had a little bit of time in hand on Martinez and Murphy. And, you know, barring any sort of incident, which you never know what can happen here at Road Atlanta, but barring any sort of incident, Ettridge doing what he needs to do to give himself the best shot of winning this one.
Absolutely, it's been a great run for him in that Porsche. He's looking very clean, very consistent. He's driven a great race so far.
Chris Forrester making his way through the field here. Chris sort of just running his race, right? Just sort of doing some laps, gaining some experience, maybe looking to apply that to the next round. Martinez looking at the inside, not quite there, but I think he's letting Murphy know, hey, I'm going to be pushing you for the rest of this race, pal. And yeah, I think that was maybe a little bit of a feeler, you know. Let's see what Alex is going to do if I put my car here, and just looking at the way Murphy reacted, and maybe is going to use that in the next couple of laps.
Absolutely, and you got to imagine that's in Alex Murphy's head too. You see that you got to change your lines. You got to defend this position.
Yeah, you got those headlights filling your mirror there. The bumper of that car just always there. Every time you look in the mirror, it's just there. It can definitely mess with you, especially as close as they're running right now. Martinez sort of looking left, looking right, getting off the racing line a little bit, trying to force Murphy into a mistake, I believe is what he's doing here. If you can just make him a little bit nervous, get that little bit of a mistake, open the door. Martinez looking on the inside there of Murphy going down into the chicane, but we did not see how that unfolded on board with Murphy. Martinez along the outside. Martinez around the outside of the last corner and into second place around Alex Murphy.
What a move there. He put it on and was able to hold it.
Yeah, that was a great move around the outside, very gutsy. But Alex doing what he needed to do and being respectful and giving him the room there, not causing an accident that could potentially take both of them out of the race. So better to lose one position than crash, right? So very respectful racing, very hard racing, and you know Alex can return the favor. Alex can mount the attack now and see if he can take the outside on Martinez next time around.
Yeah, Martinez is going to have to turn it up and try to put a gap on there. I'd expect these moves to go back and forth for the rest of the race if someone can't put a gap there.
You know, it's really good to see. I know we talked about so many drivers running the McLaren, but look at our top three. We've got three different manufacturers giving us a great battle up front. We've got Ettridge in the Porsche, Martinez in the Audi, and Alex Murphy in the McLaren. It's really good to see different cars being able to run very, very similar pace.
Yeah, Road Atlanta is a great track for that. I feel like almost every car has a chance. There are some tough tracks. You get Fuji comes to mind. Fuji is a tough track for some cars, but Road Atlanta just offers good racing if you can be clean and consistent and you know hold on through turn 5.
Yeah, it's more of a driver's track and less of a car's track, right? The driver being able to wrangle the beast of a circuit and not really getting any sort of advantage from different car manufacturers.
But that being said, if you look at the rest of the field, it is a lot of McLarens. There's a lot of McLaren love. Everybody was excited to switch to that. But I don't blame them. New car. It is a fun car to drive.
Yeah, it was a little bit OP, so to speak, when it first came out. But I don't think it has quite the advantage that it did the first few weeks. I do believe it still has a fuel advantage, though. From my calculations, I've noticed just a slight bit more fuel efficiency, or maybe it's maybe take a couple of liters off that tank. Not sure what iRacing can do to bring it down, but I definitely think there's a fuel advantage, if not a pace advantage with the McLaren. As we see Murphy put in some pressure on Martinez, looking at turn 3, but thought better of it. This will be the battle to watch here to the end of the race. These two have not been, I don't think, more than maybe 2 seconds apart at most this entire race. So this will be the battle to watch as we head towards the checkered flag. Just over 10 minutes to go in this one.
Yeah, we got Hoogavan's slowly ticking up a little bit of time on Maxwell in the GTPs, and Tur still dominant out in front with a great performance.
Yeah, Hoogavan able to open a gap after getting around Stephen Maxwell there. Hoogavan definitely enjoying this track, definitely has pace at this track. Maybe starting to feel what could have been as we approach the end here. Maybe Hoogavan thinking, man, I really tossed this one because I had the advantage, or I had the pace to have a great battle up front with Tur.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see that battle, but that's not what happened. So it's been good to watch him battle back though, and it's been a pretty good drive.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but that's not what we got. But we do have Rich Meesters, Sam Stott fighting over 11th with David Ward currently holding down 10th place. David Ward also sort of a quiet race. We haven't seen that Mustang much, popping up here and there, but mostly a quiet outing for him, it seems. And again, mentioning our two rounding out the top 5, Matthew Hansel and Carl Hudson. I don't think those guys have had more than maybe 10, 15 seconds of airtime as we get a little bump there. Sam Stott and Rich Meesters. Rubbins racing. No harm, no foul on that one. Good racing, boys.
Absolutely. I'm enjoying the battles that are unfolding here at the end of the race. It was kind of quiet beginning. Good show of driver ability, but I'm excited to see these battles play out.
Yeah, another McLaren battle we're enjoying here. With our leader, Tur, coming through. Lotting in between. Oh, pushing Sam out wide. I think Sam had a little bit of room there. He could have kept it a little in, but maybe just given that little bit of extra space. Afraid of that net code issue.
You know, I'd say that's a smart move. Almost all race, but with 8 minutes left here in the race, I don't think I'd be given that extra room. He's in a good battle with Rich Meesters. I think I would have held that line and made that GTP really battle for it.
Yeah, I agree. you got to hold your ground as you approach the end of the race, especially when you're really close to somebody. You know, less than a second here between Rich Meesters and Sam Stott. Rich Meesters, I believe, the last remaining camel, with James Pepper and Steve Pepper going out earlier in the race. I don't believe Rich Meesters has a teammate out there. He's battling this one solo. A good teammate, you know, help from a teammate can really make your race. You can have a teammate hold somebody up, even just for a couple of corners, can give you the breathing room you need. But if you don't have anybody out there, it's all up to you.
Yeah, even just getting information is super helpful. You know, you having teammates in different part of the track, letting you know about GTP traffic headed your way. There's tons of benefits of having a teammate out there, and it's cannot be overstated how nice it is to just have some friendly faces on track.
Yeah, especially as you mentioned with the GTP traffic, especially on the first couple of times that the GTP comes through the field. You know, whichever teammate is running at the back, letting the other guys know, hey, they're coming, get prepared, set yourself up for facilitating some overtakes here. That you know, 2 or 3 corner warning is very valuable. Danny Chan, I think he's running out of opportunity to show us his dive bomb skills.
Yeah, but I believe he did gain a couple positions with that lift and coast strategy he's running.
He did. He was down in 10th or 11th, I believe, battling with Sam Stott and Rich Meesters, and now he is up to 6th with a few extra laps he got on that last stint for his second pit stop there. So yeah, great job to Danny, running a great strategy. He joins his teammates there, Matt Hansel, Carl Hudson, Danny Chan, all teammates running 4th, 5th, and 6th in that order. Martinez flashing the lights at Ben Chalcraft. He's feeling the urgency there with Murphy. He made the move, but he needs to grow that gap. He's only looking at about 1.5 seconds. That's really not enough to get comfortable. You know, you really don't get comfortable until you're looking at 2.5, 3 seconds is where you start to relax. But 1.5 seconds is not enough. You're still pushing. You're still wanting to grow that gap.
Absolutely, and you're hanging out just out of draft range. One tiny mistake, losing a tenth or two, can close that gap right up to 2 or 3 tenths in no time.
And Chris, once again, being respectful there and hanging back just a little bit as we approach turn 3 and then the S's. I imagine Chris will just hang out behind Martinez down the S's. Yep, just letting Martinez run his race and battle towards the end here. Less than 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Chris Forster is running an excellent race with traffic, being respectful. Not battling for a podium, but a great show of respect and sportsmanship on his end.
Yep, speaking of podiums, we got Maxwell here on the 3rd step of our GTP podium. Coming through some traffic there with Rich Meesters, and he's now got Charles Kitts in front of him. That gap to Marin Hugavin, 5.8 seconds. So yeah, Marin, I don't think Maxwell's probably just holding on to 3rd at this point with only 3 minutes to go. She's gonna say, hey, I'll take this podium and you know, regroup for the next one. Meanwhile, Ettridge enjoying a 7-second lead over Martinez.
Saw Peter McIntyre there again with still that damage to that car, so I don't know if he used his fast repair already or what, but he did not fix that in his final pit stop.
Yeah, we saw him take a few spins there, so he must have used his fast repair and then had another accident or two. I think his pit crew is not going to be happy with him. I think he might have to buy them 2 or 3 dinners to make up all that repair damage that he's got on that car.
It's just a little bit of speed tape. He'll be fine.
Maybe he can do like they do in the corporate world and just throw him a pizza party, man. Everybody likes pizza. Just have a pizza party and be happy, right?
Hey, free pizza's free pizza. It might not be the prize you're looking for. Everybody wants that raise, but hey.
You still eat it though, don't you? You still eat it.
Yeah, don't hate on the free pizza. Just hate on the stuff you didn't get. Enjoy the pizza.
Absolutely. Oh, an interesting move there. That is Tur looking at the inside of Hudson. Hudson sort of shutting the door on him, but not fully. Tur not wanting to throw away the lead of this race on one of the last few laps. Probably backed out a little bit there as Hudson turned in for turn 7. Maxwell coming down the S's just in front of Murphy. Those two both part of the Wizards team, looks like, judging by their liveries. Obviously different class, but both part of the Wizards group here in the LOA League. Martinez leaving space on the inside there at 7. And that gap, Martinez to Murphy, still hovering around that 1.5 seconds. You know, it's really tough to gain the time. You don't gain tenths at a time. You gain hundredths, if not thousandths at a time each lap. It's really tough to build the gap here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's led to some good battles. We've seen some good packs forming, good driving, a lot of draft and fuel saving. Everyone's put on a good show here today.
We've caught up here with our GT3 leader, Oliver Ettridge. Coming around looking at some lap traffic himself. Lap traffic of Peter McIntyre. Probably going to give him a little flash of the lights, as Ettridge likes to do, and sneak up the inside of 7. And thank you, sir. See you at the finish line. Our time has expired, so we'll be getting white flag or checkered flag here very shortly. Catching up to our GTP leader, getting around Charles Kitts in the Audi. Tur just a few more times around this circuit, and he will be a race winner at Road Atlanta. Not sure if he has any previous success here, but he's having success here today.
Absolutely, he's put together a fantastic drive. Haven't seen any real incidents out of him. He's just been clean and consistent, and it's showing.
And Stephen Maxwell, still a good finish in 3rd. You know, a podium's a podium, and you take them when you can get them. And I know that Stephen has got his sights on the championship, finishing well in the championship, and I don't think he's mathematically out of it at this point. I'm not sure anybody is. So, you know, he'll even though he's lost out to Hoogovan towards the end of this race, I think he's gonna take that 3rd place and put in a couple extra hours of practice for the next round, which will be at Portimao. Is the next round here for LOA Endurance.
Portimao's a tough track. That'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, myself as well. Looking forward to that one. I haven't seen a white flag come up on the screen, but our time is expired. Not sure if we're on the final lap or not, but these guys are still racing, so we're still calling it. Matthew Hansel there, getting passed by Marin Hoogovan. Hansel also in one of the boys who switched to the McLaren. Hansel's tried out a couple of cars. I believe he switched when the Mustang and Corvette were released and then switched again to the McLaren, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's tried a couple of cars this season and has settled on the McLaren.
You know if he chose the Mustang or the Corvette?
I don't recall. I'd have to go back and look at the results. I do not recall. I guess he didn't like it, whichever one he chose, though, because he's now in the McLaren and he's staying that way. There's our graphic for the white flag. So Tur Malaren has taken the white flag and has started the last lap. So we'll get a conclusion to this race soon. Roughly another minute 20 seconds looking at these lap times. Tur Malaren on his final parade around the circuit. Into 6, into 7.
It's got to be a good feeling to have that nice gap with that white flag out, being able to just relax and enjoy your final lap around the circuit.
Yeah, you don't have to push to the end. You just sort of get to have a celebratory lap, one lap early. Just don't bend it. Just do not bend it, right? Don't lock it up. Don't spin out. Just take it easy. Get across the line. Going down the hill. That's the steep hill I was talking about earlier. Last corner and across the line. Well done. Tur Malaren taking the win here in the GTP class. Well done. Good drive. Good drive.
Congratulations.
We should see Oliver Ettridge making his way. There we go. Ollie headed down the hill and towards the line, and that's another victory. Flash of the lights. Victory for Oliver Ettridge. And that is Clayton Buller behind him, telling him, hey man, congratulations. Good win. Do some donuts. All right, what a race, Phil. What a race.
Absolutely, and while we have a second here, I want to thank the team at Limited Adhesion for allowing us to do this broadcast. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I hope everyone enjoyed us broadcasting.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's good talking with you. Tur Malaren, Stephen Maxwell, Marin Hoogerman, and Chris Forrester for the GTP class. Our endurance standings, Hoogerman barely out front at 258, followed by Tur Malaren on 251, and Stephen Maxwell still in that fight, only 20 behind Tur at 231, with Zhao Tomei, Gavin Kelly, and Chris Forrester there. See how important it is to show up and finish. Chris Forrester knocking on the door of the top 5 in the standings by just participating here in this race today. Rob Miller, Don Parker, Dan Shaw, and Michael Messenger rounding out your top 10 in the standings. And here is the rest of your group down to 22nd of James Renwick. I believe some of these drivers have dropped out of the series, so we won't see them back. But the ones up at the front, they are fighting for it still. They're still a championship to win.
Close battle too. It's gonna come down to a good shootout at the end.
And we've got our teams here: the Wizards Black Sapphire, Wizards Fire Ruby, Wizards Rose Gold, Stupid Aguirre, and McLaren. Your top 5 endurance teams. Frog Watts Racers and JJ Racing finishing out your teams there. GT3 podium, Oliver Ettridge, Joshua Martinez, and Alex Murphy. Alex Murphy with the fastest lap, and Joshua Martinez with the pole position award. Here's your finishing order. Following up, we've got Matt Hansel, Carl Hudson, Danny Chan, Mark Kelly, Clayton Buller, Ben Chawcraft, and David Ward finishing out your top 10 there. And towards the back of the field, we've got Charles Kitts, Peter McIntyre, Philip Miles, James Pepper, and Steve Pepper, who unfortunately did not finish this one, and neither did Fabio Oliveira. He DNF'd earlier in this race as well. We'll see all those guys back for the next round, though. Looking at our standings, Martinez in the lead at 257, followed by Ben Crook, Oliver Ettridge making his some moves up from this race after that victory, followed by Jay Pratt and Jack Haynes in the top 5. Alex Murphy down in 8th. He's wanting to make moves up as he's had some great success in the last couple of races. Carl Hudson in 9th, Oliver Walker in your top 10 there, followed by Clayton Buller and Danny Chan. Then we've got Rich Meesters, Matt Hansel, Nathan O'Loole, John Cook, David Lachetelier, Mike Murphy, Mark Kelly, Graham Bardsley, Paolo Tempera, Charles Kitts, Philip Miles. That'll complete your top 21. Lots of really close battles here. We've got 36, 35, 35, just very 1 point separating some of these guys. Very, very tight here towards the end of the season.
And it's looking like some of these positions might be swapping with this race.
Yeah, Stephen Greening, Mark Ennis, and James Pepper all on 15 points there. So 1 point shakes those positions up. Max DeRitter with 7, only 1 point ahead of Merrick, Fabio, and 2 points ahead of Fabio and Peter. So yeah, I mean, just every point matters at this stage of the championship, especially in the mid-pack of this field. Lots of drivers here in the GT3 class. We've had a great turnout. That's great for the league. That's great for racing. All right, looking at the teams championship, we've got AITT Revolution E-Racing in the lead at 334, followed by JPR Esports and the Risky Racing Team. Also some tight battles here. Wizards GT3, Stupid Aguri, only 3 points separating. Another 4 points down to Cool Camel. Really tight battles in the team championships as well. And with that, I believe we'll show the rest of the standings here, and then we will go to Mark and Steve, who have our race winners doing some podium interviews.
So now we're gonna hear from our winning drivers. So we will be speaking to Chure Malarin and Ollie Ettridge. So first we're gonna speak to Chure. So Chure, how did your race go?
It went great. Maybe the best thing I could have hoped for. I managed to win it with Marin finishing 3rd, which is great news for the championship battle. That's honestly closer than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Chure, on the win this week, and it was just so dominant. Was there a point in the race where you just thought, this is just too easy?
Well, I can't say that, right? But no, after like the first 10 or so laps, I noticed I had a gap big enough to not do anything stupid.
Yeah.
So I tried to take the east in traffic, try and do clean overtakes to keep the lead. I ended up having a little bit of contact, but it felt nice and easy all the way through, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Lovely, thanks a lot, Chure. And then we'll go to Ollie, who won the GT3 class. So yeah, Ollie, you had a really nice battle with Martinez during that race. So yeah, tell us about it from your side.
Yeah, really great battle with Josh. First stint was, first of all, he had a really great start. So the first 5 to 10 laps were just trying to stay within slipstream, and also trying to hold off Alex, who was really close behind. Then from that point, I thought maybe I can squeeze out another lap of fuel on this stint. And also thinking I couldn't make a move, because if I did try and make a move on Josh and it didn't pay off, Alex would have been right through into second place. So yeah, eventually pretty much came out of the pit side by side with him. Got that move done really early on, and then just tried to build the gap as best as I could. And I think a mixture of GTPs lapping, a bit of lap traffic in the GT3 field as well, and thankfully managed to eke out a bit of a gap for by the end of the race.
Well, congratulations, Ollie, on your win. I can say I'm in absolute awe. I've looked at the lap times and watching your lap times and what have you. You were good progressing through the race, and I can say it was almost like machine-like. Was there some sort of, well, was there a point in that where you felt as though you had to make a break from Joshua and Alex, or did you just ease away as you know, as a gradual thing?
Yeah, it was a bit in that second stint when I took the lead. It was a bit sort of, obviously I'd realised that in that first stint that I could fuel save, get that extra lap, and that benefited me massively in the pit stop. So I felt like I either had to pull away at the front or slip back into second or third and try and gain that lap again. So it was really just methodical, watching Josh and Alex's lap times, making sure that my lap times each lap was matching or slightly better. So it was a bit machine-like, just hitting a target each and every lap. And yeah, thankfully it came off.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you once again, and congratulations to our winners, Turo Malarin and Ollie Ettridge.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You take care. See you trackside next time.